So Nehemiah was a leader, a great leader, who had a great project that God called him to do. That is to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And he did this project in just 52 days. And so I noticed this step-by-step process. It's like a business plan by which he was able to incorporate his belief system into his work. And so what would happen if we took that same step-by-step process to incorporate faith into our work and accomplish great things for the kingdom of God? See, Nehemiah was an immigrant. He was really in a very weak position. He was somebody who was a foreigner. He was a cupbearer of the king, which meant he was a dispensable, disposable person, because as a cupbearer, if you tasted for poison and it was poison, you just die and the next cupbearer steps up so he can protect the king. Well, he was actually so influential to this king that he was able to persuade him not only to agree to this project, but to finance this project of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. So he was welcomed into the counsel and trust of this king in a foreign land, King Artaxerxes of Persia. How do we incorporate this same step-by-step process to integrate faith in every area of our lives, to discern and fulfill God's calling on our lives? In other words, what does God want me to do, and how does God want me to do it? And especially, I noticed that Nehemiah incorporated two aspects in his work: prayer power, which was the spiritual aspect, but also the planning process, which was the material aspect. So he combined the spiritual with the material. What I've discovered over ministry of 40 plus years is that Christians can err on one of two sides. Either, number one, they'll become so focused on prayer power, right, the spiritual, that they forget that there's a material, there is a planning process. Or Christian can become so focused on the material, that is planning process, that they neglect the spiritual, right, the prayer power. Nehemiah was a balanced leader. He emphasized both spiritual and material, prayer power and planning process. And so in the book, there are 3 chapters on Nehemiah's prayer power, and then the rest of the book is on the planning process.